A gruesome scene lay in front of Miami police on the MacArthur Causeway on May 26, 2012. At 2 p.m., officers arrived at the Causeway to find a man turned cannibal. He was naked and feeding off the flesh of the stripped body of a helpless homeless man. Obviously, to his nakedness and the commands of the police to stop the bloody massacre continued until police were forced to shoot. In the midst of Miami's sun-laden paradise, Ronald Papo laid victim in the street with his attacker, now dead, by his side. Upon reaching the victim, police found him bloody, with 80% of his face had been gnawed off. In the midst of the massacre lay a discarded Bible. The attacker, now dubbed the Causeway Cannibal by the local news media, was a former high school football player named Rudy Eugene. On the morning of May 26, 2012, Rudy Eugene, aged 31, awoke with his girlfriend. He picked up his Bible and headed to South Beach for the annual Urban Beach Weekend festivals. According to his girlfriend, Eugene carried his Bible everywhere he went and usually read aloud to her each evening for it. Eugene's friends confirmed that he not only carried his Bible, but he would text Bible verses to them. At 5:30 a.m., Eugene kissed his girlfriend, told her he loved her, and left for the beach. She recalls thinking that he was up awful early, which was strange for him, but she didn't dwell on it. After spending several hours at the beach, Eugene had smoked some marijuana and taken some pills before leaving the beach. He went to his car, but it would not start, so he started walking. Somewhere along this 3-mile walk, Rudy started shedding his clothes. Later, it would be reported that he was seen swinging from a street lamp. Still carrying his Bible, he started walking toward downtown Miami. Eugene then saw a homeless man, 65-year-old Ronald Papo, laying in a shady spot on the sidewalk. Eugene began attacking Papo, beating him and stripping off his clothes. According to an eyewitness, Rudy Eugene was able to overpower him with some sort of superhuman strength. Ravenously, he started gnawing on his face, chewing off his nose, his eyes, and his mouth. The bloody attack lasted 18 minutes before Miami police were able to arrive. The witness said the attack was like a dog or a wolf chewing at his prey. He continued saying the guy just kept eating the other guy away, like ripping his skin. The Miami police officer jumped out of his car and shouted, "Stop, stop," but Eugene just kept on tearing and ripping into Pablo. The officer then shot Rudy Eugene, but it never fazed him as he continued to chew on the face of the helpless Ronald Pablo. The Miami police officer then fired 5 more shots into Eugene before he stopped the attack. Rudy Eugene died on the road in a pool of blood. Flesh was still clenched in his teeth. Ron Pablo was rushed to the hospital with 80% of his face eaten off. Pablo survived, but his face would require many reconstructive surgeries. Pablo's family found their long-lost family member through all this publicity. They had long feared that Pablo was dead, but Pablo had, through a demonic act of faith, been catapulted back into their lives. What could have made a man appearing to be fine just snap and strip down naked in broad daylight? Initially, it was speculated that he must have been on bath salts, a hallucinogenic street drug, to cause him to act in such a bizarre manner. Miami-Dade medical examiner would later find some undigested pills in his stomach and a little marijuana in his system, but nothing that would have caused him to act so out of the norm. During an interview with the Miami police, it was reported that this was the third identical attack they had attended to lately. Rudy's girlfriend speculated that it could be a supernatural cause. She suspected he was under a voodoo curse, a common belief in his culture. Rudy's parents immigrated to Florida from Haiti. They put no credence into the girl's theory. However, the fear of voodoo curses is prevalent in southern Florida. Miami is home of Little Haiti, the largest Haitian neighborhood outside of the Caribbean. It can be found just north of downtown Miami, with roughly borders between 36th and 85th Streets and between US 1 and North Miami Avenue. Within the rich, cultured neighborhoods, voodoo shops can be found, full of curiosities as candles, statues, herbs, spices, voodoo dolls, and books on spells. These stores are usually called botanicas, a seemingly innocent enough name. There is a dark subculture belief that a voodoo priest has the ability to turn a person into a zombie. Zombies are dead people that are resurrected usually within 8 hours and placed into a psychotic stupor that allows their zombie master to enslave the zombie to do their bidding. Zombies can then move about, eat food, hear, and speak, but they have no memory and no insight into what they are doing. Zombie is also another name of the voodoo snake god Damballa Wedo. The Serpent and the Rainbow is a book written by Wade Davis, an ethnobotanist from Canada. In his book, he describes how one can be raised from the dead by toxic chemicals and then kept in the zombie stupor by drugs with disassociated properties, or similar to being in a foggy stupor that you won't remember. When I heard of the story, my spirit immediately went to the scripture found in Mark 5:1 through 9. It seems very much to me that Rudy Eugene had been demon possessed, and not with just any demon, but with the ancient demon of legend. Eugene was stripped down naked. He had superhuman strength. He continued to eat the flesh of another human being, even after being shot by police. Dr. Lester Sumrall taught that the man in Gadarenes had been eating the flesh of the recently buried corpses in the tombs. I agree with Dr. Sumrall. The reason the demon of Gardines was living among the tombs naked was because he would eat on the flesh that was available when the recently deceased was buried. In the Bible, the man possessed with the legend of devils had been arrested many times, but always managed to escape by breaking ropes and chains with his bare hands. They could not contain him. During the latter part of 2012, these zombie apocalypse, demons were acting out in much the same manner. Was this the return of the legend? Were ancient domain demons being released back upon the earth to deceive and possesses and to torment the human race? Had God allowed Satan to release the hordes of hell upon mankind? Something biblical was going on with the signs of the second coming of Christ.